Right now, I have to stop saying.
You know, if we're going to stay late and have overtime and bonus hockey, you might as well win the damn thing.
Got no other choice.
Right? I mean, what's worse than bonus hockey when we want to get our show going and go home? It's not like we don't want to be here. We just don't want to be here all hours of the night. What's worse? Losing. They didn't lose. And they finally beat the Ducks. Took them 3 tries and an overtime, but they beat the Ducks. So let's talk about it. Right here on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
Get ready, boys.
Yep, indeed. A victory over the Anaheim Ducks, a team that gave them a lot of trouble tonight, but ultimately they got the 2 points they were looking for. Welcome inside the lounge studio here at DLS downtown headquarters alongside Craig Ludwig. Sam Nestler will be joining us later. John Andersen is here, of course, at the controls. I'm Owen Newkirk, and we are thrilled to have you here tonight as we wish you nothing but happiness and like spikes. That's right. You're watching right now on YouTube. There's almost 100 of you already. Hit that thumbs up right underneath the video. That helps us out. It spreads it to more people on YouTube. More people watch. We grow. You get more great coverage from us from the Stars. It seems like it would make sense. So don't forget that like spike. Okay, Luds, if you were going to rate the Stars' performance tonight compared to the best and the worst they've had this year, where
they got 2 points tonight. I'll leave it at that. 2 points. That was the mission. They accomplished the mission, and it was a little sloppy at times. Not a clean game. There were some holes. So the best I can say is they got 2 points. I don't think this is the game that the coaches had drawn up after the couple games against Winnipeg and Colorado and coming back home. I think you expected to control a hockey game, and that didn't necessarily happen. But they won the hockey game, and this is something you build towards for the next game.
Well, if you go to the first period of tonight's game and you look at how one-sided it was, the only disappointment for me was it should have been more than 1-0 because the shots were 9-2. The chances were 9-2. They had a couple high dangers, including the goal. Rantanen had a really good shot in the slot that was denied by Dostal. That was a good setup play to him. But it was we'll get to Jamie Benn's one later. It was Thomas Harley firing one and Wyatt Johnston looking very much like his old billet dad here in Dallas, tipping it past Dostal to make it 1-0. The only thing I said was, look at all these opportunities, and they had a power play, and just wanted more from them than 1-0 after a period.
The first thing I wrote down was Thomas resisted giving it to Rantanen because Rantanen kind of likes to slide off to the right-hand side of where Thomas would be at the top, and he gets down low, and he wants to get the puck over there on his forehand side so he can make plays. And they had it kind of covered the right way. And I think what Harley did was the right thing. They had a hole. They were kind of, I think Razor mentioned it, they were in a diamond. They were kind of set up. But Radko Gudas, he didn't have it tight. He didn't have the lane covered. And Harley saw the lane through the net, and he ended up getting it right to where Wyatt was. I'm trying to figure out what – are we looking at John?
He's just waiting with the bell the whole time because
why do I have to bring him up?
You don't, so he doesn't know when we've launched into a bit.
Didn't you already?
Is that
why you're sitting there?
It is because I said his billet dad.
I hate to ruin his fun.
You don't have to, but I just was laughing because the whole time you're breaking it down, and it's great analysis. I'm giggling.
Well, apparently it wasn't because you were giggling.
Well, I couldn't help it because I'm watching John just
Pavelski.
Wait,
there we go.
Thank you.
Damn bell down.
Oh man, they were so waiting for that.
Yes, it was a nice tip by Wyatt. Again, the way that they played that, there was Dostal, he was standing all by himself in there, and Wyatt chips it in there and gets a little. I think he got a shaft on it, but regardless, I just thought it was a great play by Thomas Harley. I mean, if he goes ahead and throws it down to the right side there to Rantanen, now more time clicks off and they move it around the perimeter, and so Harley's been really good at that, knowing that nope, it's time to get it to the net, and then again you get it there, and they got rewarded for it.
So Wyatt scores his 25th goal of the season, which is pretty darn good, and he extends his home point streak to 15 straight games. And it's I know we've talked about it before that he's been really good at home all year, but I feel like this 15-game home point streak has kind of flown under the radar with all the other things going on. And he's been really, really good. Don't get me wrong, but he has scored now in 15 consecutive games at the AAC. That is a really, really good number.
I would like to, when you talk about that versus the road, you would think it would be easier, but on the road for teams to take him away or cover him a little bit better or put somebody out there against him. But when you think about it, when you have the Hintz line and now you have Rantanen on there, and then you have the Duchesne and Marchment line, I think that Wyatt kind of flies under the radar. And so when he goes out there with Jamie and who's ever playing on the right side, they're really not a priority. And all of a sudden you find that Wyatt Johnston, who's one of the most dynamic young players in the game right now, I think he gets a little bit more freedom out there.
Dallas has won 8 straight home games. We'll talk about the rest of the game in a minute. Wyatt was the 4th Stars player to hit 25 goals this year. Now, Rantanen did it mostly with Colorado, but still, they could have 5 30-goal scorers by the end of this regular season, which would be quite a feat. And Wyatt has now scored goals in 6 consecutive home games, the 4th Stars player in the last 15 years to accomplish that feat. Jason Robertson had a 6-game home goal streak. Jamie Benn had a 7. Tyler Seguin 6. Those Ben and Seguin ones were a while ago, 15-16 and 14-15. Robo was 22-23. So think about that. In the last 15 years, scoring in 6 consecutive home games. That doesn't happen very often.
He's got rewarded for it, though.
Yes, he did. It was a very big payday. All right, so it's 1-0 after the first. And I didn't think it was a real high event period. I thought the Stars controlled it. The Ducks, I tracked for just 2 quality chances. One of them came on the power play, and it was not a high danger chance. It was a difficult save because it was a for Toronto one-timer that Jake made look very routine. And that's something I think we forget a lot.
And I think people forget that when you're only facing a couple shots in 20 minutes of hockey, you got to find a way to keep yourself in it for a while.
And it's not easy to stay mentally sharp when you don't. Jake, I think, does better when he gets some. I mean, a lot of goalies do when they get some shots early and they're engaged in the play. Well, the second period flipped the script entirely because there were 11 combined scoring chances in the first, and there were 33 combined in the second. And it was up and down, back and forth. And it started with Nikita Nesterenko, who I really haven't seen a lot play. And he's got some wheels. This kid can he can go from 0 to 60 pretty darn quickly. And he had a couple of chances right in a row. He ended up scoring on a tip play, but he had one before that where he forced a save from Ottinger. And this one was eerily similar to Wyatt's goal in the first to make it 1-1.
Yeah, there was. I think Leon Bischel here. I think we've got a little diagram, but Bischel allows him to sneak out between the net and himself. Bischel decides to follow the first little ducky that's going into the corner, and then all of a sudden he throws the brakes on because now he recognizes there's another little ducky down here off to the left of Jake. And what happens is Nesterenko, it's a great play. He sneaks in behind him. Now what happens is he ends up gaining position on Jake as far as being in front of the net, and Bischel is basically on the outside looking in. As he reaches around him, it's a great play. He kind of shields him off with his left arm, and then he ultimately gets the stick. And you can see here that Bischel can't grab that stick. He can't get the stick up in the air, and good hand eye right here, and Jake stretches out and just, sneaks by him. So it was one of them instances where, as a defenseman, you want to try to let him go out in front of you so you can control him out there. Once he gets behind you and another big body, they got 2 big bodies in front of Jake.
John, go back to the first or second frame, I think it is, if you would. So here's Bischel here. What would you have rather him done in this position?
He doesn't see him. He doesn't even. He doesn't even spot him.
So he sneaks behind him.
Yeah, he sneaks behind him, and he sees him a little too late. So he's basically got to be looking around. Your head's got to be on a swivel, but you can be down a little lower. I mean, once you see him,
you want him to kind of block his route to the front of the net?
Well, I want him to seal him out even before he gets above the top of the goal line, like not in front of the net. He can take a step if he spots him. If he finds him early where he should have, because he's just he's a little attracted by the puck, and so he gives him that lane to move out of there and go in between him and Jake, and that's what causes the problem for him.
By the way, poor job by me on this, guys, but in between this frame and this frame, Bixel, right when he goes to turn his head to the left to check where Nesterenko is, that's right when Nesterenko makes his move. Way. Yeah.
So
I'll include that one next time.
If you go all the way to the last one there, if it stayed clear, Ottinger's not going to have any trouble with that shot. So it was just the fact that he snuck in at the right time and got the tip. And
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think he'd have any problem, but again, your natural reaction once you know you lose position on a guy, you're trying to track him down and at least get his stick up in the air. And Bischel's trying to do that. It's just that Nesterenko's got the right spot on him, and he's got him on his back.
That was 2:48 into the second period. The game is tied. So really, really quickly, although there had been a couple of chances for both sides, the Stars had came out and got a shot from Duchesne, Harley, and Bischel, but then Nesterenko got a couple, including that goal. But Dallas went right back at it. And Luds, when you look at the scoring chances, the opening 5 minutes of the second period, you would have probably been surprised if I said it was 1-1 in goals, because Dallas had 7 to just 2 for the Ducks, because after the goal, Blackwell had a great chance. Dumba had one from the top of the circle on a face-off win. Duchesne hit a one-timer on a rush entry. And then Mikael Granlund, actually, of all the chances, probably the worst of them, scores. But this goal, so Granlund scores his second with Dallas, his 17th of the year from Duchesne and Marchment. 4:25, less than 2 minutes later, makes it 2-1 Dallas. Really nice response. The pass by Duchesne, when he comes into the zone, I'm sure you saw this. It was like 1-on-4 or maybe 2-on-4. He holds it and then throws it to an area, and suddenly Granlund gets a chance when otherwise, I mean, except for the fact that they were all watching the puck, Anaheim had plenty of defenders back. They just didn't do well with it.
There were 3.5
and he picked them right apart.
Yeah, but the play was really made by Granlund because that pass was in his feet. Granlund kicks it up to his stick. He gets enough of it, gets it up to the stick, and all he does is whacks it in one motion, and it's not a good goal.
Shouldn't go in.
No, that goal should not go in. But yeah, well, I mean, that's what Duchesne always does. And we talked about this a couple months ago. Matt Duchesne loves coming in right side of the ice because he can see everything off his left shoulder. He's on his forehand, and generally he puts it right on the tape. But again, this was a great play by Granlund because it was a hard pass. It was almost like a slap pass over there, and Granlund was able to take it and settle it down enough that he could get just a small little whack at it, and he finds a little hole through him.
And because of that, they have the lead again. And so at that point, Stars are doing fine. They have a 1-goal lead. They're out shooting Anaheim by a rather large margin, and they have a couple more really good looks. Jamie Benn has this nice delay and shoot in the left slot. Dostal makes a good save there. Blackwell dangles to the crease. That line continues to look really good.
That whole shift of that line was good.
And then Oscar Beck had a rebound on the back end. I mean, they're really buzzing the net. And then some penalty trouble. And that's what gave the Stars a lot of issues against Colorado on Sunday. And they had it again here. Rantanen was called for cross-checking. He cross-checked right at the top of the pants and took, I think it was Lacombe down right in front of the referee. Okay, it's a call. Then Marchment gets called for interference. And this one, Luds, looks accidental, but he absolutely runs over Radko Gudas.
Yeah, he does. But I think because he had the puck and he was moving it, gets his head up, and Gudas is, they're both in each other's train tracks.
Yes.
Right?
And so, neither of them can get out of the way very quickly.
And I think Gudas saw Marchment coming the whole way, but Marchment spots him right at the last second. And I think what he did is he gets his hands up to protect himself. And he's trying to protect himself from Gudas, and Gudas
that
is
angle
down.
looks worse than the game camera. This is the reverse angle.
But
it
that's
looks more like
the
a
angle
penalty
where
to me.
I was like, why would he get a penalty?
Right.
This is the angle that shows you why he got it. It's a little blurry on this, but he punches him right in the face.
It looks like he's just cleaning him out.
Well, no, he's protecting himself. I'm telling you, because his head, his head is still down here. He doesn't see him, and then when he looks up, now he spots him, and your first reaction is to get your hands up.
Was it Makar on Sunday where he and Robertson came together, and it looked like Robo maybe cross-checked him in the face, but it was actually because he put his hands up to protect. Yeah, and then Makar kind of bumped his hands up higher.
You're trying to protect yourself. Yeah. It's exactly what Marchment's doing here. I mean, that's not on purpose to hurt or hit somebody in the face. That's just trying to protect yourself.
So then we get a 5-on-3 power play goal for the Ducks. Leo Carlsson on a rebound that was trickling toward the goal line. Might have been going in anyway. He made sure of it. The referee, younger of the two referees tonight, which was Justin Kea, K-E-A, he waves it off and says, goaltender
He
interference.
looks like a 19-year-old kid out there, doesn't he?
Compared to his much more veteran
Yeah.
Eric Furlat partner tonight, he looked like he was learning.
And then it was great when they sent him out there to make the announcement too. I'm like, oh, let's let the kid
No,
get out there.
you've got to go talk.
Yeah.
It also looked like he was waving it off because he thought the whistle had blown.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's not what he was told. When he announced it, he said for goalie interference,
Right.
not for stoppage of play. And I think after they had a conversation, the two referees, I think he was kind of informed by his senior partner, Furlat, you've got to go announce that as goalie interference because the puck was not frozen. And so they did. Anaheim challenges it. And when you watch it, Luds, I think they got the call right on the challenge because
100%.
there was no goalie interference. The puck wasn't frozen.
Right.
And frankly, if the Stars were on the other side of that, if they were attacking and had that waved off, I would have been really upset.
Well, he was trying to explain it to the Anaheim coaches, and they couldn't understand what he
Yes.
was doing either. They kept on going, what? It's what? And then finally, when he came back a second time, and then that's when they're like, oh, okay, goaltender interference. Well, we want to challenge that. And yeah, there was. And the puck was loose the whole time. And I don't think the initial one was going in. I think it was that little tap that got it across the line.
I think
but,
so,
But
yeah.
it was the right play all the way around from as far as the Anaheim standpoint.
Carlsson tied it at 2, and we got a lot more to talk about in that period and in the rest of the game next year on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
Cooler time. Rugged Road is dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. The products are designed with the highest quality materials and craftsmanship, ensuring they perform in the toughest conditions. Whether you're on land or water, Rugged Road gear is built to accompany you on every adventure. One of the most unique features is its ability to always float upright. Crafted to handle the toughest environments, their coolers are built to last, ensuring they can keep up with any adventure. Perfect for a variety of outdoor activities, from fishing and tubing to camping and tailgating. These coolers are designed to meet the needs of every outdoor or sports enthusiast. So, gear up for your next adventure with Rugged Road coolers. Reliable, durable, and built to be used, Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head over to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and use code DLLS for 10% off.
All right, let's talk about Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames, crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. They probably even have a style in your favorite team's colors. I've told you this all the time. I have a pair in my car. I have another pair in my computer bag. That way, no matter where I am, if the sun is blazing, which it does a lot here in Dallas, I know I can throw on some glasses and I am comfortable, covered, ready to roll. Plus, if your shades ever go missing, they have lost or broken replacements protection, which means that you can get them for a fraction of the price that you get them brand new. You get another set. It's really well covered. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code DLLS for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Okay, so we left off the recap, and I see you, Superchats. Keep rolling in. That's our next segment, so don't be afraid to start firing those. And, John, we did get a pretty decent like spike earlier, but I wouldn't hurt for some more people to – I'd like to see triple digits tonight on the likes department. I think it could be done.
Yeah, that can easily be done. Just judging by if we keep up at this rate, we'll be quadruple digits by the time the show ends, I think, right?
Well, let's go, guys. Hit those like spikes. So, Luds, it's 2-2. I think the call was right. It was a goal. It was 5-on-3. I don't even think it was that risky because it was an interesting moment, because if for some reason they determined that the call stood, which was no goal, goaltender interference, and Anaheim had an unsuccessful challenge, it would have still been 2-1 Dallas, and that minute 10 of power play time, they had about 15 seconds or so of the 5-on-3 left. It pretty much would have been wiped out. So it really would have been a blow for Anaheim, but they got the call right. Harley had a big open chance in the slot. He'll make up for it later. He missed the net on a really good look in the slot. Robertson had a rebound at the post, a pretty easy save by Dostal because he kept himself in his crease. And then Carlsson scores on a penalty shot. Now, I praise the referees for eventually getting the call right on the 5-on-3 challenge goal. I don't think this is a penalty shot. I watched the replay. Carlsson gets behind Lindell. There's a stick up. I think it's Oscar Beck. And he hits between the hands on the stick. But I don't see any contact with the... Now, I know the game's fast. We got to watch it in slow motion replay. And I would like to put the caveat that I am a fan of referees calling penalty shots more than they do, because I think it's exciting. And if it's borderline, I think they should lean into the penalty shot more. In this case, I didn't like the call. What do you think?
Eliminates the scoring chance.
Yeah?
I mean, it seems soft to me.
Yeah.
That to me is, we would do that all the time when somebody's coming down the wall to take a shot. And if you're not in good position to get your stick on the puck, you would just get his hands just as he's about to take the shot, and it'll throw him off a little bit. And generally they'll whiff on it, or it'll go into the corner. This is the same thing. I mean, Beck is chasing him, and whether he did it on purpose from a timing standpoint, because you can kind of see him coming, and as he's starting to follow through, he kind of taps his. I don't know if he got his hand and stick. To me, it looked like it was stick.
I thought it was just stick.
The puck flops into the corner.
Yep.
And the referee's standing right there looking at him. And so I'm guessing that was it the same guy again?
I would have to.
I don't remember.
Look. I'm not.
But
sure.
anyway, that's the only. I guess that's what they take as, I mean, he was in an area where he had a good quality scoring chance, as you would say, and he didn't get it away.
The actual penalty shot by Leo Carlsson. Wow.
That's
elite level talent to go.
That's a wingspan.
That's what I'm saying. Like if anyone didn't like Oettinger got deked and scored on the ice, just think about how much distance he had to try to cover when Carlsson went from right to left with that quickness. Mm-hmm. That's nearly impossible unless he put his pads post to post and just tried to take the bottom of it. It's really, really hard to do.
Well, it's probably why he ultimately goes to the backhand first, and he gets Jake to move to his left, and then that way he's got to cover the post on that side, and he can't reach all the way over there with his right leg. And I mean, he puts it just inside the post too. Mm-hmm. It's not like he was going to try to get it past Jake's pad or anything. I think he knew that it had, no matter what, I'm going to get this as close to the post as I possibly can. And that was the only place it could really go.
It was a really good move. Carlsson scores the second of the period. So they're up 3-2, go into the third period. And it took a couple of minutes, 4.5. But Thomas Harley scores in a really similar position to the one in the second period where he missed the net. But this time it's Jamie Benn sets him up, and Harley picks the top corner. It's a really good shot. It's his 13th goal of the year. Ties it. Ben and Bork the assists. What'd you think of the Ben, Bork, Johnston group tonight?
They were good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I think Maverick plays, he knows the way that he's got to play to be successful. I do think that Jamie, you can see the season has worn a little bit on him. He's going to have another gear as we get a little bit closer here. But it was nice to see him come around the back of the net, spot Harley, make a perfect pass to Thomas. It's nice that Jamie's left-handed, and so he's looking on it for a forehand pass, and Thomas is right or lefty too, and he ends up putting it in the perfect spot for him. And again, Harley doesn't generally miss from there. He's got that quick release and everything. But yeah, there's been times in the last few games I look at Jamie's game. It's hard when you're watching guys on TV too, but it doesn't seem like here's what it seems like to me. He may not be tired, but he knows exactly where they are in the season. He knows how many games are left. So you try to do everything you can in the course of a game, but you know that you have to have that energy pack has got to be filled when you get to game 83.
Well, he had such a run where he was really, really good, and we're saying, wow, this is vintage Jamie Benn. He's turning back the clock. He's continuing to show this. Razor loves that phrase, Renaissance of the Pete DeBoer era, and that style suiting Jamie better than some of the stuff that Jim Montgomery, Rick Bowness, or Ken Hitchcock had. I do wonder if there's a little fatigue in there, or is it simply managing his time? His minutes have dropped a little bit. Robert Tiffin wrote a great piece this afternoon from Morning Skate, basically talking about how Jamie's points and his ice time have kind of dropped off a little bit in the last segment.
Well, I think his time is dropping off because by design. And I think they're trying to conserve. Same reason that Dodonov's not in the lineup tonight. I think, he's 35, 36 years old, and they're trying to keep energy in these guys when they get, at that time of the year when they need it. And so, but I think Jamie kind of does it he can do it himself also. But if you were trying to keep up with Wyatt Johnston all night, you know what I mean, and be the winger where you're supposed to be,
That's a good point.
it's going to be a little bit tougher on you. You're trying to get up and down the ice with him all the time.
Well, it was that line again. Bork had a great look at the crease from Harley. Dostal made a phenomenal save. This was one of those little quick passes into that area, that low slot triangle spot. Good save there. And then, Luddy, what the heck happened later in the third period when Jackson Lacombe was wide open backdoor?
Again, getting attracted to the puck. But what happens is Dallas in their own zone, and you had mentioned right away about Matt Duchene. Well, Duchene was on the opposite wall. He wasn't in the middle of the ice. He's not in between the tops of the circles, inside a circle, especially when you're on the offside where the puck is on that side of the ice. And if you're the winger that you're opposite where the puck is, again, we see it a lot because they're trying to stay with their guy. But when they get turned with their back to the player and you're looking down at the goaltender, you don't know where you are and you don't know where that defenseman is. And that's exactly what Lacombe did, is he just sneaks down. He sneaks right down the pipe, comes right down the middle of the ice. And, and again, having your back turned and being not in the middle of the ice, too far to the right-hand side of the ice, there's a path right down the middle of the ice. And, I mean, it was a grade A chance.
I want to point out for everybody that's been hard on Jake Oettinger, and we have too, and there's some reason for it over the last week and a half or so, that was a game-saving stop right there. Because if he lets that in, which again, you talk about grade A, it's 4-3 Ducks, and they might not get anything out of that. That's a huge save. Now, Killorn had a one-timer from the slot from Gauthier and hit the right post square. That could have won it. Stars with a couple of chances against late where I thought Anaheim had a nice little push to try to win the game. But their goalie came up with a huge save. And isn't that what you want from your number one?
Yeah, this is why in the pregame show I was talking about, I just think that, and I think you said it was scheduled for Casey to play today. And I just think
in my head, I thought so.
Oh, I thought you said they had it on
No,
schedule.
I think after playing Colorado and Winnipeg, you kind of think, okay, well, you'll get him the next one.
That all goes out the window when your top goaltender isn't playing the way you know he can play. And when you have a schedule that allows you to play every other day, and sometimes you don't play for 2 or 3 days, whatever it may be, you play him into form. And I thought tonight, even though he didn't get a lot of action in the first period, but halfway through the second, and his movements and where he was and meeting pucks on time when he had to go right to left and left to right, he was there waiting on him. And I think that's exactly what they're looking for him to get back into that rhythm where he looks comfortable. He's making those saves look easy, like the one we were just talking about. He was there before it happened, and that's not a save he should have to make. And it's just because of structure, and the way that they cover in their own zone. And Jake knows he's going to have to make those kind of saves. And, so I think this is the way that he needs to get back into that form, is play as much as he can before he gets fatigued, and this would have been a game that I think generally DeSmith would go in, against Anaheim and where they're at and things like that. But I just think this was the right decision as far as playing him.
Think that we're going to see Jake again on Thursday and then DeSmith against the Flyers?
I think so, but now again, they may think, well, okay, we got him where we want him. Let's check him again. I think this is up to Jeff a lot, to have those conversations with him. How do you feel? Jake, I think Jake's going to say, I feel great. I want to play again because I want to get into this rhythm of getting my confidence where it's supposed to be and making the saves, the ones that I'm supposed to make.
Well, then it's the overtime goal. And after giving up a couple of shots to Troy Terry, where Oettinger was good, made the saves, Duchene had a 2-on-1, took the shot. Dostal made the save. Trouba had a chance. Rope Hintz had a chance. But it was the finished product, no pun intended, by Mikael Granlund on a play where, it was a shot. It was sort of it wasn't even a hard shot. It was just Hintz sort of threw it at Dostal. He kind of poke checked it, and McTavish was in position, Luds, to kind of clear it, but he never actually had it. Like he kind of missed it or overskated, or he wasn't looking. Maybe he assumed he was going to feel it on the stick blade.
Yeah, I don't think he expected it to come off.
And Granlund just walked right in, and
he just spit it right back out again. And Granlund just came in and took a whack at it.
And backhanded went in the net, and
simple. 2
goals in the game.
Yeah.
Stars win at 4-3, get 2 points, and move on. We got a lot of super chats. You ready for some super chats?
I'm ready. Let's move on.
Let's do it next here on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show.
The cells in our bodies are the building blocks of life. Timeline is a supplement that works with those cells to give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts, and mobility as you start to age, like Owen here. With regular use, you'll see and feel the difference in the form of improved energy levels and faster recovery. MitoPure is the only supplement clinically proven to rejuvenate health at the cellular level and also delivers a double-digit increase in muscle strength and endurance with a change of exercise. You can exercise twice as long. I've been using it now for a week. The youngest guy on the staff, they give it to me, and I'm telling you, it does do something. So anyway, right now, Timeline is giving you 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/DLLS today and get started. That's timeline.com/DLLS.
All right, now it's my turn. And what are we going to do? Well, nothing else but talk about Game Time. Game Time is the only way, or I should say the best way, but it should be your only thought when getting tickets for sports, concerts, theater, comedy shows, you name it. Game Time has it. Download the Game Time app, go to their website, gametime.co, and you can get incredible deals on great seats. Game Time Picks, their feature, has a great opportunity to get tickets even easier because it filters out the fluff. So you only get incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. When you open that event, you see, boom, those best values right up front, very easy to find. And of course, you have great deals. You have all-in pricing features. You put that on, you can see exactly what you're getting, fees included, no surprises. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use the code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right. I happened to notice that we had super chats even before we started tonight, and a big one to lead us off. So, John, hold on. Before we do, let me just double check here real quick. We're at 95 likes. We got a lot more than that watching right now. So we're really close to hitting triple digits. I think you can hit that thumbs up for us real quick, get us over 100, and let's get that super chat rolling right now. Bing bang. And we start with Burned Oils with a little Lundqvist, and is that Bobrovsky 72? Who else was? Well, it was Eric Cole,
Eric
right?
Cole. Yep.
Squishy Mushy. Glad we quacked. I don't even know the QED. Quacked, I guess.
Quackhouse?
Those
Quackhouse?
ducks. What are we going on? Squacks. Burned Oils might be having a seizure tonight. But thanks for the super chat. You have anything to add to that?
We'll get them some timeline.
Bud's your take.
I don't even know if I said that right. I feel like this is a Ron Burgundy moment where you're just getting me to say some weird things on the teleprompter. All right, let's go to the next one. Bing bang. This one, look at this. A Granlund and Ludwig from I Love Misty 1985. I believe both of these were before we even started our postgame show.
They were.
I gave up my ticket so I could go out and watch The Day the Earth Blew Up. It didn't occur to me that it was unwise to watch a movie with Daffy Duck when the Stars were playing the Ducks. But Granlund and Harley saved the day. Plus, the movie itself was great.
Luds, have you heard of this movie?
No.
It's a new Looney Tunes movie.
I didn't even know it
in the year
existed
of our
either.
Lord 2025 called The Day the Earth Blew Up. And apparently it's very good.
So this is an animated thing?
That is what Looney Tunes is. You know that.
Well, I'm a Bugs Bunny guy.
That's Looney Tunes. Yeah.
Roadrunner.
So you knew Duck Season and Wabbit Season?
Yosemite Sam.
He knew all about Elmer Fudd.
You knew the thumbnail
Coyote.
tonight?
Anyway. Whatever.
No other thoughts, Luds? Anything bouncing around in there right now?
There is, but I'm not allowed to say it.
Well, of course, I love Misty.
Do you ever
Thank
look at
you for
someone
the-
and wonder what is going on inside their head?
What is that? I don't know. What
That's
this
from Inside Out.
I don't know.
That's another animated movie that we have. That's where Bing Bong's from.
Do you guys watch with things with regular human beings in it? Or
Yes.
why are the
Be-
cartoon
well,
stuff all the time?
Because
Well, I'm sure
from-
Johnny can relate.
in
There
the
are
last-
humans in Inside Out.
What would you call it, John? I mean, when was the first Toy Story? Was it 20 years ago?
Like 1995 or
So
something?
basically, there was always Disney movies from when we were growing up and way before that. But basically, since Pixar came in to now, and there's a bunch of different studios doing it, the animated movie went from being just for kids to being something for all generations.
I don't watch a movie unless it's rated R.
Okay.
I don't. I
They
have no
actually-
use for it.
They probably do have plenty of
Do they?
R-rated and I'm
Well,
positive.
I'm not going to watch a cartoon that's rated R. Jesus.
So you just don't want to watch cartoons. That's nothing to do with the rating.
I just
if it doesn't have Bugs
I
Bunny in
loved
it, John.
cartoons when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I did, but now they're.
You
I
loved
don't
Ren
get
and
it. I don't-
Stimpy and none others.
I got better things to do.
He's got another landscaping project. Let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
This is one of those super chats that has no super chat with
Patrick
it.
G with a little DeSmith Granlund. Thank you, Patrick. If you
I like those.
Let me do a search and see if he.
see if you
I
get.
don't know if this was a
oops.
follow up, but I guess we'll just give him this.
Shout out Jake Ottinger. He played better than his save percentage would indicate. So that's one of those tough ones, Luds, from a number side. Jake played well. He made some very timely saves, but he's got 22 of 25, which
Yeah,
not a great number. He wants that above 90%, but
and you know the
32 wins.
what was the goal? It went off
31 wins.
Labushkin. Was that a 5-on-3 goal? Is that the one? What was the one? It hit him in the pads and Labushkin it goes in. Squeezed
Not
through
in
him.
this game.
Yeah, Labushkin goes down in front of him.
You talking about the one where they blew it dead for goalie
Yeah, that
interference?
well, no, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Like Ilya's done that quite a bit. And he gets in too tight and he's in the middle of the net when he does that. Like especially on a 5-on-3, you kind of play off the back door. You make sure the pass doesn't get all the way through. And I think when he comes in there down on your knee, it really doesn't have any other option the way he goes down for it to rattle around a little bit. It's a little bit tougher for Jake because you're kind of, when you're in that tight, you're almost having it ricochet or bounce off you into Jake's pads, which is tough for him to be able to gather it and find out where it is.
Bing bong.
Michael Moore with his profile picture of the day.
Man, you really are having fun with this. Both of you guys, you and John, Michael. Michael with a Miro and a 99 cup here. Why does it feel like this team is running out of gas? Since January, 5-on-5 hockey has not been good.
Sam could lend him some.
I do think what happens sometimes when you have a good season and you start to look ahead too soon instead of finishing the season off the right way. You're looking forward to getting the playoffs started, but unfortunately, it's if you do that and you're not dialed in every night, some bad things start to creep in, and I think they started to creep in a little bit, and now they're trying to purge them as they go along.
By the way, the Oilers are putting a hurting on the Utah Hockey Club tonight. It's 7-1 with a minute to go.
How many points is my heart guy got?
Your heart guy meaning Draisaitl?
Mm-hmm.
Leon Draisaitl. I can look this up
Told
pretty
you at
quickly
the start
for
of the
you.
year, he was my guy for the
0.
goals in the heart. No points
Think about
and
that.
7 goals. He's
7
got no
goals.
points.
Hyman.
What's McDavid got?
Hyman's got 3, 2 goals and assists. Arvidsson has a goal. Podkolzin, Nugent Hopkins with a goal, 2 assists. McDavid 2 and 1, 2, 3, and Ekholm with 1, 2, 3. How about that?
He's just back in the lineup.
Just
they need
back
him.
in, spreading around, and Calvin Pickard getting a win over the Utah Hockey Club. But anyway, Michael, I think that the Stars, even with the injuries to Heiskanen and Sagan earlier in this season, kept on winning. They kept chugging along. And that stretch of games before and after the Four Nations, they really accumulated a lot of points, even without those big names. I wonder if that's caught up to them a little bit right now, but you hope that this is one of those ditch moments where you dig yourself out and then you go, okay, well, at least we didn't do it right before the playoffs started.
When you have something to play for, which they do, they're playing for home ice right now. They know who they're going to play. So that should be enough incentive right there to know that you don't have to start on the road going to Colorado, but you can't look too far down the road. It's good that you're getting ready and excited and you want to get the playoffs started, but you have to finish the season off the right way. You want to be heading into the playoffs where you're running on all cylinders.
Let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Guess who?
Michael with his second one of the night, another Miro and 99 Cup here, with Pete saying today he's planning on having to win a series without Miro. What's the concern with the D-men now? So I want you to answer this question, Luds, but I want to clarify. He didn't say he is planning on. He said it's a realistic possibility that we might have to we might not see Miro until later on in the playoffs if they were to get that far. What he's saying, and he's not making a definitive statement, is that it's probably not going to be before the start of the playoffs, and it probably will be after the start of the playoffs. But they're not giving you a definitive. Honestly, Luds, the fact that he hasn't started skating yet very easily could mean a lot longer than we were hoping for, but there's no way to tell for sure yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to prepare that you're not going to have them.
How do you think about the
they've been
defense
doing
then?
for months now?
What do you think about the D without Miro as it stands right now?
Well,
Going into the playoffs?
we've gotten a glimpse of it, haven't we, for the last month, a little over a month now? So, have they gotten better as a group? Yes, I think if anything, Thomas Harley has come out.
I think the Four Nations did him wonders.
Yeah, well, Four Nations. I just think getting an opportunity in the power play.
Yeah, too.
And then doing Harley-like things and having pucks go in the net and having success on the power play is confident. Not that he needed more confidence, but his confidence is growing, and I think he's defending better. He knows he's becoming an all-around defenseman, and he's a important piece back there.
Remember that bridge deal he signed?
Yeah. I told you that when he signed it.
Yep.
When he signed it, I said, I don't get it, but whatever.
Well, he bet on himself.
But he bet on himself, yeah. And he's a confident guy. And when they didn't give him whatever he was asking for, he's like, I'll show you. And now
I'm good. And he did.
And he's showing them, yeah. Yeah. So,
and honestly, I don't think he was at the $7 or $8 million level.
I don't think he was looking for that.
Yeah.
I think he was
looking
at
six.
I think he was looking at 6, and I think that would have been hindsight, right? I mean,
yeah.
That those guys.
But you know what? With the cap going up, if he continues this path and continues to grow, Stars will be happy to pay him what he's worth.
Yeah, he may say, I'm only taking 2 more years again. If you don't want to give me what I want, I'll show you guys. So,
all right, let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Sum Tin Wong. Cute. A 20, which is a Kyle Capobianco for the current roster, and the year after the Cup. Curious if this current style of play by the Stars reminds you of any previous Cup winners. That's an interesting one. Any NHL winning teams that play the way the Stars play now?
Okay, so define how the Stars play now. Are we talking today?
Yes, the
or
current
are we
Dallas
talking?
Stars.
Okay.
No, they're talking about current style of the Stars. So
the style of the Stars is to go. That's the style.
4 lines.
Yeah, they
wear
roll their
them down.
lines. They spread things out. They keep it even. They don't no fatigue on anybody. They play a system in their own end where there are going to be some high danger, high quality scoring chances. They believe they have a goaltender that can make the majority of those saves. I think they believe in their system. I mean, you just look at the numbers and everything. You look at the rankings, and so they sit at the top of the league in a lot of categories, right? So it's just being able to have that. It's one thing for things to break down in the regular season. It's when you get to the playoffs, you don't want to see any of those kind of breaks or those cracks in what they're doing, because it can end your series or put you in a big hole.
Let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Gears Fi, super chat for Lundqvist and the year after the Cup win. What game do you think Jamie Benn will get the 400th goal? He's at 399.
Yeah. Who's the next one? Who's the next 2 games again?
Tampa, Philly, and Minnesota to wrap up the 4-game homestand.
It'll be Philly.
Saturday.
Yeah. I'm looking at the 2 goalies for the other 2 teams, so I'll say Philly. That'll be.
Well, you know what? I watched a little bit of Urson play the other night for the Flyers, and he looked darn good in that one.
But I mean, from a team standpoint and
the
getting
team
chances,
thing,
and Tampa is playing very well right now, and we know that Minnesota's got a goaltender, and I think Minnesota's getting some people
Gustafsson
back.
is having a great season,
man,
isn't he?
He's been good. Yeah.
Let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Guess who?
Oh, look, it's a hat trick for Michael Moore. This time he raised his game, though, instead of a Heiskanen, it's a Modano in a 99 Cup year. What does this game do for Jake after 2 tough outings? Side note, Stars still have not lost 3 in a row. Lastly, is Matt Dumba playing as good as it seems in person?
Yeah, I'll start going backwards. I think Dumba's been – I didn't know what the hell
You thought it was coming right at you, didn't you?
What did you think that was, Lutz?
I was hoping it was a can of beer, but I didn't know what it was when it was flying at me. I think Matt Dumba has gotten better game to game, since maybe the break. And I think he's settled in a little bit, and the system he understands what it is. And He's not trying to do too much. He gets pucks up on the net, and him and his partner are playing well together.
Yep.
As far as Jake is coming along, again, this is one game. I mean, we could pick apart his game, and because we hold him to a really high standard because we know how good he is. We've seen what he did, that Calgary series, and we expect him to play like that all the time. It's not it. And you have to remember, I keep saying this, sometimes there's some high quality scoring chances that you may not face if you were playing in a different way when you play in your own zone. And so and I think he gets frustrated at times when there's defensemen or players that bump into him. There's a couple times I see guys bumping into him because they may be crisscrossing in front. And again, when you're playing the way that they play, you just hang on to a guy. And if those two guys cross, there's four guys coming together at one point in front of the goaltender. And so it's hard to see through that too and not know where everybody is.
We have more Super Chats, but we also have to do an ad break, and we have to say hi to Sam in our next segment. So let's do all that next here on the DLS Dallas Stars postgame show. So let's talk about a couple of things being a diehard. Obviously, it's a great value. You can get so much for it. As you sign up on the QR code down below LUDS there, scan that code. John will show it where you as well. That'll take you to alldls.com. Sign up today, and you will get all sorts of great perks along with, of course, John now sitting in LUDS' chair. Boy, that is just a goofy mashup of you two. I love it. The value is so many different things. First, you get a free t-shirt from our DLS merch shop as part of your annual subscription. So that's a $35 value right there. There's a great Finland shirt, Finnish Mafia, that we just unveiled this week. It looks fantastic. I ordered mine already. It has not shipped yet because it's pre-ordered. As soon as it does, I will wear it on the show, and I can't wait. It looks great. It's our next hockey shirt. I know we have some others in being designed, so we'll see when they come through.
I've been hearing about that since
August. I know. We're working on it. But anyway, it's all due to the thing. Let's talk about events for a second, because part of being a diehard, you get 20% off on all DLLS events. Well, next week, a week from tomorrow, is our first DLS Stars watch party, which is at Cosm. It's already sold out from the tickets we had. I don't know if you can still get into Cosm with some of the other seats they have, but in our section, LUDS, it's going to be fun. It's going to be rowdy. I hope the Stars play well.
Is that Wednesday, you said?
It's Wednesday the 26th. The game starts at 9 o'clock. It's listed as going from 8:30 to 11. We're going to do our pregame show pre-taped a little early so we don't have to be late for Cosm. And then we're going to do our postgame show back at our homes on our remote broadcast, not at Cosm. We're just going to go there and watch the game with everybody and have some food and a couple of beverages, maybe a soft drink.
Uber, Miller Lite. We have Ubers.
You might have to. It depends on how hard you want to go there. But guess what? We have another event. It's not just Cosm. And this one's on sale now. April 25th, our first ever Lone Star Open, a DLS Sports Scramble Golf Tournament at Stevens Park Golf Course. This is in Dallas. If you aren't familiar with Stevens Park, you can sign up as an individual, a foursome. You can play with your favorite DLS hosts, Tomahawk City, right? Or you can even sponsor a whole. And boy, there's a lot going on there. The entry fee includes all sorts of great. I believe there's benefits, a continental breakfast. I think there's lunch after the tournament. There's a DLS gift bag. I mean, you name it. Plus, maybe you get the chance to play with LUDS. I don't think that'll be cheap, though. I think you will be a highly sought after. I know you and I are both willing to play. Sam said he'd be willing to caddy because I don't think he's much of a golfer.
I don't think he's much of an athlete.
Well, I'll leave it at that. Did you know you get 20% off if you're a DLS diehard? So sign up for a diehard today, and if you want to get in on the first ever DLS Golf Scramble Tournament, save some money on your entry by being a diehard. Makes sense to me.
Sam, your response to what
Hey, hola, amigo. You found the bandana. You passed the homework assignment. Well done, Sam.
Golf is not for athletes.
I'd just say that to Tiger.
What's going on there,
The
Sam?
only golfer I know.
Or should I say
What's
Senor
up, guys?
Sam?
Yeah, I found this baby, which is pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Use
It's cozy.
double.
Although
It'll
it does,
double for a diaper for you.
yeah, it covers it all. You got all the options with it.
You know, he could cover his face too.
I was
I was gonna do this.
a bandit.
Bandito.
Yeah, there you go. That looks good.
So,
What's up, guys? How are you doing?
Post-game reaction from the AAC. Obviously, they'll be happy about the win. What are the guys talking about over there?
Yeah, well, first of all, Pete DeBoer was quick to talk about Thomas Harley. We talked to Harley and then asked some questions about his progression, how he's taken on the absence of Miro kind of on his shoulders. And Pete said, first of all, he has just elevated his game to a new level since Miro's gone out. He's taken on his own shoulders to not only take up that absence, but to carry that momentum we saw him take from the Four Nations. Not that he needed much more confidence, but he's looked like a totally new level player since then. And Pete said he may have been the best player on the ice tonight. He said he was for sure our best player. That could have. You guys
No.
hearing that weird noise, or is that just me?
Just you, Sam. You froze like you just saw a deer in headlights.
Okay, hold on. Let me go headphones out and back in.
Oh, I can hear that.
What is it?
It was very static. I'm muting you, Sam.
I didn't hear it at all, but John said he did.
Well, I heard it 30 seconds later on the YouTube
So
stream.
that
I
means
didn't
that
hear it
everybody
live.
watching heard it, but we just didn't hear it in the studio.
I'm sure the chat will tell us if they heard
We got spared. Let's see. No, Russell says no demon noises. Oh, Nate says he hears it, so something's going on. All right, Sam, you're muted, but let's get you back on. What do you think, John?
it. Oh, I think this is coming.
Oh, Sam is still muted.
Yeah, I know it
We have a audio
I
problem
was
that
saying-
John's gonna have to deal with. Unmute Sam. so
Yeah,
he
I don't
can
think
talk.
that's me. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, just fine.
That's so weird. All right, so if you can't hear that, I'm just gonna go through it.
Oh, apparently everybody's saying this is awful. Something got unplugged. Holy noise.
Something's bad.
Nation.
Something's wrong here.
It feels like the devil is in me now. I'm shaking.
is. All right, I guess we have to do sound stuff while we're live. All right, so you two stop talking for a second.
Okay, we're not going to talk.
Okay, I think it's gone. Let me see.
Maybe
Is.
this was it.
How do we feel? Everybody good now? Chat? A little better? Not that debilitating noise that we apparently didn't hear?
I believe it's gone. I had to wait 30
Oh,
seconds
yeah,
for the YouTube
we're good now.
stream to
Okay,
catch up,
everybody
but I think
seems to
we're
say
good.
we're good. Technical support on the fly. Great to hear. All right, Sam, come on back in the frame. You're allowed to talk again.
By the way, I unplugged their mics
We're-
and plugged them back in. That was how
We're,
that got
we're
fixed.
rolling now.
Yeah, there it is. Look at that.
All right. So I don't even know what was I talking about. Was I talking about something?
Pete DeBoer.
Pete DeBoer was quick to point out Thomas Harley, and then you froze
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a frightened meerkat.
It was scary, man. It was really. Sounds back. Yeah, Pete was quick to point out Thomas Harley is the best player on the ice tonight, and talked about how he elevated his game. But one thing that I thought was really funny and I really appreciated it from DeBoer. You know, we talked Luds and Owen. We talked on Friday after the Winnipeg game about how we believe that Pete should have kind of been ripping him and couldn't kind of let it slide. And he said in the second intermission, he went in. So that, keep in mind, they had just taken a bunch of those penalties. They just scored that third goal to go up 3-2. So Pete went in there and he could kind of sense that the team was a little bit too much complaining about penalties and a little too worried about the calls. So he went in there and he basically said, look, we need to park that. We need to get rid of that mentality. And I don't know if this is what he said in the room or if he just said it to us, but he said, I don't know if I could say the second word, so I'm going to censor it. He said, stop bitching and play. And that's how he ended his press conference with us today. So I don't know if that's exactly what he said to the team.
Mic drop
but
moment.
the fact that he brought that in and said, look, stop complaining, play the game. And they came out here and rallied for a win in the third period. I love that.
So, in case you want to know, Apparently, Ludz's mic was halfway unplugged.
I couldn't hear him either, so that makes a lot of sense.
I looked and said, that doesn't look right. So I reached over,
I don't touch nothing.
connected it, and apparently we're good now.
This is what the producer is supposed to do before you go on the air: is you check the mics, you do a sound check, get the chairs set up, get the cords in the right spot.
So, Luds, we are 55 minutes into the post-game show, and it wasn't an issue the whole time. So it obviously was fine.
You know what the good news is? We only got
minutes.
4 minutes to go then.
Oh, you think we're ending at an hour?
I thought that was the plan.
Have you listened to this show before?
Luds, Texas Twist said it's because you don't do shots anymore.
Maybe it was my pacemaker that threw it off.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. So, big win for the Stars. We have some more super chats. Sam, would you like to get in on these?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Bing bong.
Our
Where
next
did we
one.
leave off? I think we left off here.
Yes. So Sumton Wong again, Brendan Smith, and a year after the cup, Slapshot Paul Newman, as if you need to. That's redundant. We know, or Youngblood. Is the question which one's better?
Of course it is.
So I don't know if it was because I watched Youngblood when I was probably 13 or 14. It's just I always liked that one. I didn't see Slapshot until later. I don't think it was until probably my first year with the Elmira Jackals, my first pro hockey job. Boy, it's amazing. Slapshot's wonderful. To me, it's the classic because it was the first hockey movie like no other, right? And it's hard to knock off the first. I love Youngblood. I know that the argument against is that some of the hockey isn't great on the actual on-ice stuff, but Rob Lowe, Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, how can you go wrong? I love it, but neither one's bad. They're both phenomenal. Bud?
Bing bong.
Slapshot.
Yeah.
Hasn't changed. Yeah.
I Love Misty 1985 with little Ludwig. Luds was born the same year as 101 Dalmatians came out.
Oh, wow.
I know what it is.
But you're aware of it.
I had
I'm
that
aware
on
of it.
VHS. That's a good
Don't
movie.
know. I don't. It could be.
Well, to show that I'm still in the back end.
Was it in black and white then too?
No, I think it was color. Remember, Wizard of Oz was the
color.
first one that came out in color. You probably saw Wizard of Oz at some point,
Yeah, black and white.
but it has color.
I haven't
Oh,
seen
on a
it.
black and white TV.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Just to make you realize that I'm not nearly as young as the other two on our show tonight, I actually remember growing up before we had a VCR in our house. You had to rent the VCR and the movie from the movie rental store. And so you took a case with a VCR in it, hooked it up to your TV, played the movie, and then returned all of it.
We went outside and played sports.
Well, we did that too. Long winters, though, let's go ahead.
Bing bong.
Michael Moore, I believe this is his fourth of the night with a DeSmith 99. 5-2 Canucks. Stars still alive for the one spot because they're beating the Jets tonight, right? I think that's who they're playing. I can tell you. It's right in front of me.
That's a good
5-2 after
guess.
2. Yeah, I mean,
they're
look,
still alive.
they can still catch the Jets, but they just need to try to get their game right, and everything
Yeah.
will fall into place.
Bing bong.
Jake S. with a little DeSmith 99. Granlund and Moose on the same line. Maybe? What do you
Doubt
think,
it.
Sam? Did we lose Sam already?
Huh?
No, it's all right. Yeah, it's fine. Luds,
I was
you
reading the
like the
chat.
idea of Granlund and Rantanen
I don't
together?
think that'll happen. No. I mean, that takes. You're not as a dangerous unit. You remove him from the two guys he's playing with now, or as you put him with Duchesne or with Wyatt. You know,
They don't have enough right wings to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Like literally.
Well,
they
I mean, if you
move
got
Granlund
Sagan
to a
back.
left wing.
Well, everybody.
They can-
Good news. All those guys can play their offside,
Yeah.
and they enjoy playing it.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
I Love Misty 1985. Another Ludwig. I believe Luds was drafted the year Owen was born. No, you were drafted in what, 84?
No, 80.
Hit me with a
80 or
TV
81.
before we go farther, Owen.
What's that?
Hit me with a TV, please, before we go farther.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It might have been.
Hit me with
I
it.
was born in
80.
1980.
It was
so
either 80. I think it was 81. 80 or 81.
if it's 80, then yes, it was the year I was born. So
Yeah.
it's very close.
Yeah.
All right. We will do more Super Chats in just a moment, but first, a thank you to everyone who joined on our television platforms. Make sure to like and subscribe here on the pod and check out alldls.com. Okay.
That actually was our last Super Chat, though.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
Oh, well then let's move on to man of the match. Luds, man of the match tonight.
Harley. Easy. Goal, 2 assists, +2, up the ice, control the game.
Sam?
Thomas Harley. A smart man told me about 20 minutes ago that he was the best player on the ice tonight. So I'm going to go with that.
The honorable mention to me is Mikael Granlund. 2 goals, including the game winner in overtime. Nice because it, to me, epitomizes exactly what Mikael Granlund is for this Dallas Stars team. He is one of those luxury items. He's not going to be the leading offensive producer from here to the end of the regular season, but he has the ability to be an impact player, whether he's playing on the first, second, third lines, right side, left side, in the middle. I think Granlund is I've said this before, he's such a consistent player with what he does, how he plays, that when things get tough, we saw it in the Four Nations, we'll see it in the playoffs, he's not going to drop off. He's just going to keep playing, and so it'll look like he's elevating his game, and what it is he's just keeping it consistent when others drop off.
I don't think I would call him an impact player, but I know where you're going with it.
I think he's every now and then impact guy.
I think he's effective and efficient.
Yeah.
Reliable, dependable, but impact. I think Rantanen and Rupe.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's to me what
But
impact
what I mean by impact is, if you go back to Luds' era, he's going to have that Mike Keane moment. Couple of goals in a game 7 and winning a game when your top guys are duking out with the other team's top guys, and all of a sudden, here comes Rantanen taking advantage of a better matchup. And it might not be every night. It might just be this night here. It might be winning a game in the playoffs, but that's a huge thing to have on the team.
Yeah, he can, when a line's not going, he can go up and plug a hole, and yeah, you can use him all over the lineup.
All right. As we look at the upcoming schedule,
Bing bong.
Oh, when I thought we were done. Jordan, talk hockey with me. Hey, Haskin in 99. Everyone says there is. Oh, where'd it go?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I wanted to catch Sam off guard.
Yeah.
But it took the Super Chat with it.
You want to give him the full screen for a minute? Hi, Sam.
He's standing straight up, actually, if you can believe it.
I do.
My camera doesn't go any lower.
All right, so let's go back to the Super Chat then, since we can only see the bandana. Everyone says there's no way to keep Granny after this season with the current and upcoming contracts. You think this is true? Go Stars.
Listen, I think that this organization has found ways to make players want to stay here and do whatever it takes to stay here. So, it depends on the kind of success you have and where he fits in the lineup and how I think they're using him. And I think he likes it. I think he likes, obviously, the people that he's playing with and the organization. And, if you're a team that's built to have success for, the next 2, 3, 4 years, then why do you want to go chase something else?
The only question I would have would be, are his priorities, and that's nothing a knock on Granlund, after this year. Is he looking to try to win? Do the Stars win this year? If they don't, does he think that coming back at a whatever team fit rate is worth it? Matt Duchene did it. Now Matt Duchene's getting buyout money for a few more years from Nashville too, so that's a little easier. But he's also made a ton. But then you just think, okay, does Granlund want to get that last contract? Right? Is that the one where as a free agent he might be able to get that and no one else can? And that's only he can answer that. But you're right. There is a chance. In my mind, there's a chance. Because I think the Stars traded for Granlund and Ceci specifically thinking that Granlund was going to sign beyond this year. I think the Rantanen thing might change that, but that doesn't mean they can't make it work. Sam, you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I think that Jim was pretty open about how both players were players they were at least interested in signing further than this, not just as rentals. So I think they definitely do what they can, especially because Granlund has been low-key very valuable.
Luds, he's 33, and according to Puckpedia, he has a career earnings of $49.7 million, which is not too shabby.
To me, it doesn't seem like management here brings a player in just for 3 months.
Especially with a first-round pick involved, right?
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think that's what. Brendan Smith, they gave him 2 years.
Yep, 2-year deal.
I just don't think that they want him to feel like they're part of the team. you contribute. You're not just coming in as, and plug a hole and then you're gone. Not that they won't move somebody out, but I don't think that's the intention when they bring a player in.
John, we
Bing
have
bong.
at least one more. I love Missy 1985. Another Ludwig. I had a Super Chat Hattie, but John never threw his hat.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Come on.
Second Super
rookie.
Chat Hattie of the night. There it goes.
I'm getting
Nice.
good at that.
You are really starting to zero in on that sweet spot. Trying not to. I don't know if you could even turn off the light
Remember when he
again.
broke the light?
Yeah, so he
That was
hit
awesome.
the off switch on the back of one of our TV lights with his hat, and I don't guarantee, but I'd be really shocked if he could pull that off again.
I'm like Bullseye. I can just take small items and propel them at very fast speeds and turn off light switches with them.
So we're going to see the
So you
Tampa
can
Bay.
throw-
Daredevil
throw me
reference
then.
Luds.
So, two things. Show tomorrow, 2:00 Central Time. Mason Marchment will be our live guest for the second half, so 2:30 and on. You should watch the beginning of it too. We'll have a great show. But Marchment will be our remote guest around 2:30 tomorrow. I fully intend to ask him, and I will do this, about what the referee told him in Colorado after he got called for tripping with the other guy's stick. It was Devon Taves and Cale Makar tripping each other. I'd love to hear if he wants to share. Maybe he won't share any of the details. And then it's Tampa Bay Lightning in town, Luds. A good team, well coached. I know you're a huge fan of John Cooper, so am I. And they're a team that has lost some of their big weapons, including their captain, Steven Stamkos, and yet they are battling it out for Toronto. And it doesn't look like they're necessarily just going to be a 3 seed.
They plan on winning the cup again. They made moves to win the cup. They brought a couple guys back.
Yep.
They're shoring things up, and I think they're going to win. They're going to finish on top.
You think they're going to pass Florida?
I think they will. I
Wow.
think they have a chance. Yep.
I still think it's the Panthers' division to lose, but there was a time where I thought Toronto was going to win the Atlantic, and now they're tied with Tampa. They're in third on the tiebreaker. I just wonder if that's going to be an awful lot of pressure on the Leafs to try to finish top of that division.
The Leafs have kind of gone
They bet a big
sideways.
win last night.
They've gone sideways a little bit.
They scored some goals last night.
Yeah, it's 1 game out of 5.
That's
Good
right.
game.
1 out of 5.
It was a good game.
And by the way, the Capitals win again tonight. Ovechkin did not score, but they are 2 points away from 100 points on the season. Not bad for the Caps. So it should be a big show tomorrow. Sam, they have practice still scheduled for tomorrow.
Yep, 11:30.
So we'll do that and then have you down here for Mason Marchment talk. Should be a fun show. It's our last weekday show because we have a game Thursday, day off Friday, game Saturday, and then we get to do it again Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday next week. A lot of hockey games in a short amount of time. Luds is looking at me like, hey, man, Super Chats are done. So we'll be done. For John, for Sam, for Craig, I'm Owen. 4-3 overtime win for the Stars. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
He's going to finish his chicks.
We all silly like the mayor.